Washington Post's Jonathan Capehart had a little media hit over the weekend. I don't know Jonathan. He works for the Washington Post, so that doesn't speak highly of him. But he had a little something to say that I found interesting about human nature. Here's what he said.
History is not really history when you're talking about African Americans in this country. My cousins and I are the first generation in my family to not have to pick cotton. We are the first generation that did not have to live under Jim Crow. I'm 55 years old.
Okay, Adam, setting all that other specifics aside for a moment, what is it about human nature, all of us, that we genuinely love to take on not just the accomplishments of people who are related to us in some way, also the trials? I see people do this all over. It's not unique to Jonathan Capehart or journalists or black people or white people or whatever. This is something humans do. I don't get it. Explain it to me.
Well, there's power in empathy, right? As soon as you can get other people to empathize with you, it can be used for good, right? You can get people to change their minds about, mistreatment in society of some sort. And there's ways to use it in a negative way, right? Some people use trials and tribulations of the past to make a lot of money. Some make entire careers doing that. You could look at Al Sharpton, for example, who's basically turned into an ambulance chaser, but of the race sort. So I think that there is power with victimhood. There's power in gaining empathy from complete strangers. And there's a moral aspect to it as well, because we are humans. And so we can imagine if I was to go through this, or if my family was to go through the same situation, how horrible that would be. And it pulls us in particular directions to make sure that it doesn't happen for other people. But I think there's a nefarious way to use it, which I think people like Jonathan Capehart and many others use it in a way to silence others. They use it in a way to shame others, to make them seem as the moral arbiters because I'm the first of my generation, right? How dare you tell me what to do or how to see the world? And I think we all have perspectives. Jonathan isn't necessarily wrong, but he isn't necessarily right. I think that we all have we all have reasons to express ourselves in particular ways that's equally valid. But I get tired of people like Jonathan, and I've written an article in New York Post talking about people like Jonathan who constantly harp on the negative of the past so they can benefit in the present.